Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The way Kevin Hunter fumbled Wendy Williams needs to be studied. Because how do you leave a multimillionaire wife for your side chick, spend years funding her entire lifestyle with Wendy's money, and still end up broke, dumped, and allegedly robbed by the very woman you risked it all for? Like, girl, this story is actually insane. And the craziest part is that Kevin genuinely thought Sharina was gonna stick beside him through all the chaos. Meanwhile, everybody else could see from a mile away that this relationship was built on money, luxury, and Kevin playing sugar daddy with Wendy's checks. The second those alimony payments dried up, the whole fairy tale started collapsing in real time. Because baby, when I tell you Wendy was funding everything, we're talking houses, businesses, jewelry lines, and luxury living, all while Kevin was publicly embarrassing her and acting like he was untouchable. But the second the money stopped rolling in, suddenly Kevin was out here begging for help, drowning in lawsuits, getting sued by banks, and allegedly getting cleaned out by Sharina before she packed her bags and left him struggling. And honestly, the internet is saying this might just be karma finally clocking in for work. So let's get into how Kevin Hunter went from living lavishly off Wendy Williams' empire to getting dumped, robbed, and left completely broke. Girl, I just know Kevin Hunter is wishing that he never left Wendy for Sharina, because Sharina did him dirty big time. Y'all know how Kevin has been crying out about how broke he is and how he can no longer afford to pay his bills? Well, it turns out that Sharina was a huge part of the reason he's so broke, because not only did she clean him out, but she dumped him right after stealing everything. And y'all want to know what's funny about all this? It's that Kevin is completely shocked about Sharina stealing and dumping him. From what insiders are saying, he expected Sharina to be a ride or die and stick with him through thick and thin, so he was kind of caught off guard when she decided to end things. But to the rest of us who have been watching their relationship from the sidelines, let's just say that absolutely nobody is surprised that she left him. Their relationship has been completely transactional from the start, even though Kevin was delulu enough to believe that Sharina really loved him for who he was, and not the fact that he was pretty much a sugar daddy to her. And girl, when I tell you that Kevin was balling Sharina hard on Wendy's money, and not only was he balling her, but he was also being super disrespectful to Wendy about it. For example, did y'all know that Kevin spent more than $700,000 of Wendy's money to buy Sharina a house that was only a few miles away from Wendy's house? Kevin also tried to set Sharina up with multiple businesses because she didn't want to work a regular 9-to-5. An insider said he put her through school to be a massage therapist. He opened a kiosk for her at a mall in North Carolina where she's from. He helped her set up a jewelry and clothing line online called Vish, but none of her businesses have been a success. Now, we don't know if the businesses failed because Sharina was inexperienced when it came to running an actual business, or if she didn't put in any effort because her sugar daddy was doing his thing, but every single one of those businesses failed. And for a hot minute, it didn't matter. Kevin was married to Wendy and had access to her money. Even when Wendy divorced him for getting Sharina pregnant, they were still living the good life because Kevin got a nice alimony from Wendy after the divorce. Now, we don't know how much the alimony payments were, but it was more than enough for Kevin and Sharina to live off without working. Well, all that changed when the alimony payments stopped coming in. See, while Kevin and Sharina were out here doing their thing, Wendy was playing chess. Wendy was not kidding about being plotative, because the moment she left the Wendy show, Kevin's alimony stopped coming in. And wouldn't you know it, Kevin and Sharina hadn't saved any of the money they had gotten from Wendy. They didn't invest either, and they went broke 2 working days after the money stopped coming in. At first, Kevin tried to act all entitled, talking about how he was entitled to Wendy's money because he made her and deserved to get paid. He said, "Wendy was in rehab and these people just stopped depositing my money cold turkey. These people have tried to starve me out. At the end of the day, I earned that money and I'm not letting them take it. I will only say for now that it breaks my heart to see what is happening to her. I know she is not in a good place and she is surrounded by people who are taking advantage of her condition, including this so-called guardianship." In another interview, he said, "As the husband for 20+ years and the creator of the Wendy Williams show, I was entitled to my half of everything that we had just like any other couple divorcing. I went to the table in good faith and we reached what I thought was an amicable divorce. In fact, it was one of the fastest celebrity divorces ever. I had a feeling that Wendy's Wells Fargo advisor was up to no good, but I was advised by my attorneys that everything was okay." He even tried to sue Wendy for alimony, but that didn't work, and the lawsuit was tossed out. He didn't stop there, because he then tried to sue the judge in charge of Wendy's conservatorship. Girl, say what now? This man was desperate. And now, sources are saying that the reason he was doing all that was that Sharina was lighting a fire under him to get his act together. Or she was gonna dump him like a hot potato. And baby, when I tell you that Kevin was desperate to keep his woman, he was desperate. He started suing anybody and everybody. He sued the judge, Wendy's guardian, her assisted living facility, her lawyers, everybody. He ended up suing 48 different people in the $250 million lawsuit. When that also didn't work out, he resorted to publicly begging Wendy for money, claiming that he was behind on his bills and had some health issues. He said, "I have fallen behind on most of my bills. I currently live in a community that requires payments to the Homeowners Association, and I'm behind on that bill. If the Homeowners Association fees are not paid, foreclosure will soon follow. My car insurance hasn't been paid as a result of not receiving monthly severance payments." He continued, "I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended. My life has been greatly affected since the plaintiff stopped making payments under our settlement agreement. The fact that I am unable to sustain my life and pay my bills in order is extremely urgent to me. I cannot pay my bills and sustain my day-to-day living." And of course, Wendy didn't give him the time of day because she had her own problems going on. Things continued to go from bad to worse for Kevin and Sharina, and eventually, they were forced to sell the fancy house that Kevin had bought for her. Unfortunately, that still wasn't enough to clear their debt, and in 2023, Kevin was sued by the bank for unpaid credit card debt. According to court documents, by way of letters dated January 23, 2023 and March 1, 2023, UBS Bank advised Kevin, among other things, that he had defaulted under the terms of the agreement and that the outstanding balance due under the account was accelerated. Wherefore, UBS Bank demands judgment against him for damages in an amount to be determined at trial, but not less than $20,176.83. Sharina also got sued for owing roughly $3,500 on her TJ Maxx credit card. It was a hot mess. And according to an insider, while all this was going on, Kevin never really thought that Sharina was going to leave him. After all, they had been together since 2007 and had been together for about 15 years at that point. He proposed to her, they had a child together, and he thought they were solid. But Sharina said, "Psych," and she jumped ship fast. According to several sources, she dumped him, moved back in with her mom.
Now, I am hearing that her ex-husband Kevin and Sharina are no longer together, and you know what that is.
Well, come on now.
The money gone.
And allegedly tried to put him on child support. But how do you put a broke, unemployed man on child support? It's unclear how that worked out, but it also turns out that Sharina did not leave empty-handed. An insider close to Kevin claimed that Sharina supposedly stole every single thing of value he had before she left. She cleared out what little money he had left in his bank accounts, took everything of value, and left him in the cold. It's hard to feel sorry for Kevin, because everybody warned him that this was gonna happen, but he thought he was bigger than the program. Fans commented, "Kevin gave 0 Fs about the health and well-being of Wendy at her lowest point. He was only concerned about his alimony being cut off. This is so disgusting and inhumane. I hope Kevin will one day know what it's like to use an EBT card and government health care. And I absolutely love how fast Ms. Karma came back from vacation, and she brought all of her luggage with her and enough gifts for both of them. Go head on, Madam Karma. You are not disappointing." But y'all let me know what you think about this hot mess in the comments. Then check out this next video.